So in one of the newer updates for Ship of Harkinian, the Ocarina of Time PC port, they kind of like silently dropped mouse support. And what I mean by that is you can now do free look entirely with the mouse, and you can also do aiming entirely with the mouse. When I found out they added this, I played a 3-heart run all the way through in one sitting, and it was phenomenal. So in addition to standard mouse support, they also added the ability to put certain binds on your mouse, which meant I can now have right click as attack and left click as A. But also, I can bind all of the D-pad buttons on the right to different mouse buttons. So my two thumb buttons are the bow and the hookshot, and then I have scroll up for bombs and scroll down for the Deku Nuts. So I can use D-pad buttons on my mouse, while also having 1, 2, and 3 as my regular C buttons. So I don't ever have to lift my hand up unless I'm playing the ocarina. I can use the D-pad for full ocarina controls. But in that way, in just the binds way, my experience was already much better playing on the keyboard. So generally, like what used to happen was you were stuck to the 8 cardinal directions of playing on a keyboard and mouse, which on your movement was literally this stiff. You couldn't not customize. You couldn't go in the exact direction you wanted, which meant that like movement was incredibly limited, and you were constantly pressing Z target. And also aiming was just done up, down, left, right, and to the side. So it looked like this, and it was all one speed. You couldn't be accurate. Now I can fully aim with the mouse, and because I have the mouse button set, I can walk in all 4 directions while aiming with the mouse. It is so incredibly fluid. There were a couple moments when playing when I kind of just felt like this game was made for the keyboard and mouse. And anything like this, where you need precise aiming, immediately benefited. It was a lot like gyro aim in that way, where like you can be bad and still do much better. And it never felt cheesy. It always felt like the experience was enhanced by the controls that I'm using. Hitting moving targets when in first person and walking around, like flying bats or crows and shit like that, was so satisfying. Because now I don't have to Z-target a moving target. I can just follow the target, wrap around, shoot, and then I'm good. Free look also means that I am not stuck to the 8 cardinal directions. I can do precise movement by adjusting the character using the mouse. So now I have a full 360 degrees of movement. And I can do way more precise movements, including a lot of glitch lineups that I couldn't do on a keyboard before. And again, just using the arrow keys as the D-pad, I can set the D-pad to be my ocarina. So when I'm following ocarina of instructions, my C right isn't A or U or K or L, it's arrow right. My C down is arrow down. And that felt incredibly, incredibly fluid. I also did a cool thing where I was finding myself wanting to jump or roll a lot with the spacebar, but I also wanted to roll, jump, interact with my left click. I could put both binds at the same time. So right here, I have A set to mouse, left, and space. So when I'm rolling around, or I need to use A in rapid succession, I'll use both keys, and it'll work out perfect. I do a lot of rolling with spacebar and a lot of jumping with spacebar, but I find myself clicking on a lot of doors with left click. It was very, very nice. Now, I'm not so biased that I won't admit that there aren't issues. There are, namely Epona. You still have to use WASD to control her. The free look does not work like it does Link's movement. However, it's still, like, incredibly manageable. There aren't a lot of times that you need, like, precise movement with Epona other than getting her, and even that I was still able to do first try. Another thing that was impacted in regards to Epona with the aiming was the bow and arrow aiming, which made getting the big pose so easy. Like, obviously they weren't easy, they're still incredibly hard and really annoying to do, but I can aim while on horseback with the mouse, and I'm not relying on like stiff analog stick movement for precise shots like that, especially when I'm traveling fast. Like, correcting for bullet drop, or I should say arrow drop, was much easier on the mouse. So there were a lot of things like that where it was definitely harder to use a mouse, but it was immediately negated by how much more beneficial the using the mouse was in another regard. So yeah, that's my quick tangent on mouse support in this game. It is definitely one of the best PC games that you can play, especially for free right now. So I would definitely encourage you to pick it up and try.